and pay safeguard. Vodafone presents the pre-match.
Fnatic now step into the arena versus North. It's their very first game of ESL One Cologne 2018. Both of these rosters have had their fair share of highs and lows at offline events. And ESL One Cologne, of course, important for Fnatic. ESL One, it's been a while since we saw them get to lift that trophy. I do have Duncan Thorin Shields and Janko YNK Paunovic hanging out. And gentlemen, I want to start with these Swedes. We touched on it a bit in the pre-match, Duncan, where we talked about, or excuse me, the pre-show, where we talked about Draken's move to Fnatic. We didn't actually get to hear any opinions on whether we think that's going to be something that works, more so about how he kind of landed on his feet. But if we explore that a bit further, an inconsistent AWPer joining Fnatic, who have the J Daddy already present with the Zoom banger. I mean, what are we saying?
This is one of those reasons why I always tell people, take what players say in interviews with a grain of salt. Because it was only, I think it was when Exist joined Fnatic, that JW was saying, great, you know, I'm looking back to AWP and I'm going to do that full time. And then as soon as Draken joins, because obviously people thought the same thing, well, there's two people here. Then they were like, JW will be moving to a secondary AWP position and more of a hybrid player, really. So it's like, they clearly just changed their opinions based on what day it is and what the lineup is. So I do think that that's an aspect which could be a positive for Fnatic. I don't think JW's AWPing was cutting it in this team. Quite frankly, they mainly won Katowice due to like an amazing resurgent performance by Flusher. So I do think they did need some firepower. Draken was able to bring that in an IP, even if he didn't fit the style as much. Exist gets a second go around to see if he can make Draken work, because obviously he's the in-game leader now. So it definitely gives it a new complexion. And they were a team where, unlike the Mouse Sports example we gave earlier, where they were stuck at wasn't really that acceptable. Like they'd already kind of had their peak, and I don't think they were going to be going back up again. So it's fair enough for them to make kind of some gamble moves, I think.
What's your opinion, Janko? When you saw the announcement, when you saw Draken kind of putting the Fnatic jersey on, was there a kind of an air of excitement? Were you just thinking, oh no?
Like WTF.
Oh really?
You know, because it's, so you're...
You what, mate?
Yeah, you're bringing in a player who, as you guys already said, is an inconsistent at topping. His style is pretty much the same as JW's, right? Aggressive, going for peaks and everything. So you bring that guy, and then JW is going to do what? Be more of an entry fragger type of a rifler, which, okay, it might work, you know, with him. But then what's going on with the rest of the team? You have Exist as the in-game leader. Well, he was removed from NIP because his in-game leading didn't cut it. In FaZe, he was great, but he didn't have to in-game lead. He was maybe helping out a little bit. So unless he has decided to change his type of calling and the way his teams used to play because of his time in FaZe, maybe it might work, but I am not confident at all in this team. And I'm actually feeling super bad for Golden, because he was the main reason probably that brought them back into relevancy, this Fnatic lineup. You have to remember, they were dropping out of groups. They didn't even see playoffs. And then they became a playoff contender. They were even in some finals, winning Katowice, right? Flusha and his performance, sure. But, you know, and then you could tell even, yeah, he's going to be the entry fragger now. Exist is going to in-game lead. Obviously, he's not going to stick around in that lineup. So time will tell for Fnatic, but I'm not getting my hopes up.
Okay, well, perhaps the maps will get the viewers' hopes up for something to look forward to. Already we're taking a little bit of a walk down here. So bye-bye Nuke, Cash and Dust 2 taken away by the Danish rivals.
It does seem like North is going mostly for the strategy of removing the open maps, right, which go towards players' individual skills, where you can get a lot of fights. I think they realize that this Fnatic lineup is not going to have a lot of depth, so let's try to force them on something where they can't have as many fights.
And in stark contrast, Nuke and Train removed by Fnatic, probably the two of the most strategical heavy maps.
And the thing is, North do still pose a threat of playing Nuke, even though admittedly they're not great on it, but they're not that great a team generally. At the moment, it's looking like Inferno is definitely a possibility, I think, for both teams. That's one they might settle for. Not that's a big a surprise, I think, for Fnatic to take out Mirage. It's one of the ones that North always likes to play. Now, the question here is, do you want to play Overpass if you're North? Now, if I am North, I probably do, but the Fnatic line, I don't really feel like they'll be that comfortable and overpass themselves. So it's getting down interesting. I think it's probably just going to be Inferno, to be honest.
It would be definitely a better pick for North because they get to choose when you look at how Fnatic plays and where that map is. For them, never been truly a great map. And some of the wins they've had, it did come off from good CT size and good individual performances. But I think North going for Inferno in the end shows that they're probably not super confident themselves. And in a best of one, you don't want to fall on a map and then say, why didn't we just go for Inferno?
Okay, so Inferno is going to be our map of choice, and then we have to start talking about the other side of the proverbial stage. Now, North, I have kind of lost my info on North. I used to be able to talk.
A lot of these people in the video aren't actually in North anymore. Roger, Config, Megisk, you know.
So this, yeah, like I said, this is a North that I don't know as much about. I mean, it's still the same familiar names. They battled in the minor qualifier. That's probably the most recent Counter-Strike we've seen from them. And I don't really know what to expect from them anymore.
The thing is, when we've seen them at LANs, like they had a top 4 at Star Series, they've had some dream hacks where they've been getting to the final, etc. They're not exactly like a convincing team, but there is something, and they can kind of grind out some scrappy wins. You know, there's still something to the core, even though the firepower maybe isn't so crazy.
North is still very much a disappointing team, but when you put it into context, in where they were like 2 months ago,
yes,
now they're much improved because they couldn't even win Copenhagen games and some like tier 3, tier 4 tournaments. At least they had a good showing in Kiev. They did lose in the semifinal to Optic at DreamHack Summer. They lost to Gambit in the grand final of the New York qualifier, right? So the last maybe 2 showings haven't been ideal, but it's better than what we've seen from them 3 months or even 2 months ago. So you need to do much better if you're North, considering all the pieces that you have and all the support that you have. But at least you can say they have an upwards trend lately, which is not difficult to have, considering where they started off from.
They were at rock bottom, but they're certainly on the way up. I did like the little juicy nugget of them getting a 16-0 versus Optic with Config mouthing off on Twitter. That was a whole lot of fun to watch. It does look like we're about to be jumping in. It's been a pleasure sharing the desk. We're going to go ahead and hear from your casters, though, once again. The soothing tones of Henry G and Sadakist are going to be guiding you through and driving you through Fnatic versus North.
Soothing indeed. Fnatic with their new in-game leader, Exist, who got removed from NIP after a very, very long tenure that spanned all the way back to the early days of CSGO when they were the dominant powerhouse, to an upgrade somehow of Fnatic, a team that sits higher in the standings. That said, they're going against North, a team that's been plummeting down them ever since, well, the last year.
Almost the exact same story for Draken as well. Got kicked from NIP and finds himself now booked in for a major, and presumably with more money and everything going in with it. It's kind of nuts how that worked out for him, but there we go. He is now going to be the main AWPer, JW backing him up. Wasn't the most impressive in NIP. He was very inconsistent, I think what a lot of people were saying to him. He's definitely talented and has time to build upon what he's shown us so far. But for now, we're in towards the pistol. It's Trim to actually kick things off. AZ gets dropped as Draken looks to get the second frag here. It's Valda waiting towards the end of the balcony. Draken's not wasting any time here at all. I think that's maybe a little bit overzealous, but Flush is there to pick up the pieces. Valda's surely done for here. Nice work from Fnatic so far as the bomb and maybe the round will be going against North. It's just MSL waiting towards middle. Nice shot from him. 3 versus 1 now. They know exactly where he is. And that's to instantly kill JW to stand a chance, but takes a bullet to the face instead. Quick round map, but Fnatic starting off well.
Yeah, very quick round. Last best of 1 of the day, just to note.
Well, our last one, yes. 2. Oh, sorry, swimming.
Best of
overall,
one,
yes, indeed, yeah. There's still 2 best of 3s to have a winner and a loser game, I think.
We're all winners and losers, Henry. In the game of life, some more on one side than the other.
Well, I've got hay fever in buckets today, so definitely not feeling like a winner right now. But I'm still here, still trying, you know. It's all I can do.
Effort. Nades go up the top middle. Valda gets hit by both of them, but at decent enough range that he only loses 25 HP despite not having armor.
Just to note, this was not the force buy from North. They're actually one of the few teams that actually really abiding by the philosophy of just getting upgraded pistols in the second round instead of force buying completely. See, they've already got an opening pick with those lesser weapons like Deagles and CZ. If you're going to kill someone, it's normally quite a quick and efficient kill.
Yeah, what's the point of the armor? Yeah. I suppose you could argue that if you pick up a gun, the armor helps, but yes.
Sure. This means you're not so completely done for on the first gun round on the CD side. You're not going to have the problems of no AWP or a head in Valda's case as he gets taken down from the graveyard there. And now a 4 versus 4. JW spots on towards the bomb side, but can't quite react to find the flick on Bird's head.
So JW backs away as Draken now will clear out the mid wall, namely at quad. Holding inside of pit, AZ. He's already tagged down to 30. MSL's rotated around, and Kiabi's actually going to lock them inside of middle as he rotates all the way down Banana, but having lost MSL, and he going so far in that direction, B is actually open should they elect to rotate that direction instead. 4 versus 3. AKs in both existent JW's hands. It's going to be the MAC-10s that do most of the work. I say that Exist actually takes down Mercs, but AZ still waiting. It's found by JW, and we go now 2-0.
Well, they got the opening pick, but not much more, I'm afraid. JW 4-0. North now should be on the full eco, but considering they didn't spend too much money, maybe get PD50s, we'll see. And they usually stack towards B, and these sort of rounds, we'll see whether they do that here. Inferno, we'll see a lot of that today, these sort of best of ones in, I guess, the next couple of days. It's a map where everyone feels comfortable. We've got a lot of roster changes recently, so it's a map where people will feel more at home, I guess. It's a technical timeout. So we'll stop this round in its tracks.
Yeah, they've killed off everyone in the server, reset them back to their spawns. Not a religious man, but if I were, I would say that was divine intervention.
Yes, could be. We need a new sound card, apparently. That's escalated quickly. Brand new sound
card. Yeah, a little
card.
bit.
Out of the box, please. Well, there we go.
Sound card. Interesting.
Maybe a USB one, I guess.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was thinking maybe they're using, I know the HyperX Cloud 2s ran specifically a USB sound card.
Yes.
I know lots of them do. I think the alphas might as well.
Well,
I think Logitech does on one of their new ones. I'm not sure.
A lot of pro players prefer the USB sound card. You have consistent sound wherever you go. I used to prefer as well. I used to have a little Sennheiser little
I
sound
get what
card.
you mean. You're not reliant on the hardware being
so even if it's like lesser in some ways to a full-on sound card, at least you know you're getting the same sound every tournament you go to. So no mucking around trying to do all the sounds and equalizers and stuff like that. You get what you know you're gonna have at home. So that's always why they want to do that. So it's still on the North.
I always say this: sound is it's important in gaming, but it is conditioned in that you learn what certain sounds signify. It doesn't have to be realistic. You just have to be able to recognize what it is. What I mean by that is that people have argued a lot, that the sounds aren't specific. Okay, fair enough. If they're not specific to wood, doesn't sound like wood or metal, as long as you're able to distinguish what it is and decipher that the difference is this to this. So in other words, it's learned. And therefore, if you change anything, you change those tones slightly, you have to relearn them. So you're kind of right with the sound card thing.
Yeah, there used to be some features as well. I remember there used to be some cheesy stuff you could do back in the day. You could like change the sound waves. So if it's sort of like a footstep was a quiet sound wave, right? It would actually amplify it over the gunshots, for example. So like I think it was like the Sound Blaster back in the day, like the Fatality one. You could do that. There's a setting you could have called FPS mode. It just made the footsteps super loud.
Yep. COD 4 used to have, I think in Pro League or Pro Mod, they eventually made it client side, but you used to have catching your breath after sprinting.
Yeah.
Or a long jump. And I remember Sennheisers, for some reason, were really, really good at picking that up.
Well, it looks like they've got the new sound card in place. We are getting ready to unpause now. MSL has confirmed they are ready. It's round number 3. As Matt said, our final best of 1 of the day, but we're not done just yet. We'll be burning the midnight oil with 2 best of 3s after this one. As we'll see who will be ready to play later on. For now, Fnatic, great start, 2-0, presumably get 3.
And I was going to say, great start for them just to draw some lineage to the World Cup. Sweden just started against Switzerland as well.
Wow, Sweden should...
Sweden everywhere.
Yeah, they should be picking that one up, I'd imagine, but Switzerland have been a little bit dastardly, and we're off again. We're aborting. Looks like we've got the same issue. MSL said he was ready, but doesn't seem to be the case. They have aborted. That is fine as long as no damage has been exchanged. I think it has to be within 30 seconds or something like that. But sound cards still seems to be the main issue here right now.
They do say that they're admin forced start. They do say that they're ready this time. So we'll see if that rings true as the freeze time once more will commence and expire with AKs picked up, 2 of them, JW and Crims. I say picked up. You all know what I mean. They were carried over. Held on to. Stack on the A side, 2 toward top middle, boost against the wall for MSL, hoping that if they smoke down, they'll be able to see above it. Have to be cautious of the nades, the boost. Can't find either. JW takes out the man below and falling down. MSL has no accuracy, so not only gets Mercs, he gets MSL, and They've spotted up a bit of the stack as well, meaning the bomb, although down toward T stairs, is very likely to go back toward B. That's if they go back to even get there. Because Kiarbi and AZ finding kills have now picked up a gun to work with, and JW is not yet in position to grab that bomb. Volda, going back down the apartments, though, has given his position away. Little does he know.
This is kind of nuts. This is winnable now for North, but Valda might be taken down. Luckily, time's on his side. He does sneak past towards the T-steps, but JW's hot on his heels. So JW will be saying to his teammates, hold on, I have got a read on this, but every chance he gets, Valdes is going around the corners at the correct time.
I suppose that Flusha called the Penitums clear as well, because you would have thought that one player would have stayed behind to help him get these kills, but now look at the information JW has. You're right, it was winnable for a moment with the bomb down. JW only gets one so far, but he's still alive, still in it. And again, has the information. He'll close on Kiarbi, and the round will slip away in the end. That got very awkward, considering they'd already had the B site. They'd already deciphered the stack. They just didn't have the bomb.
As JW with 4 kills, got a little bit scarier there, but he certainly saves the day. Remember, North did not fully purchase in the second round, meaning they're going to have their utility. They're going to have the AWP for Mertz. I was not aware. He's the young Danish player, I think he's 19, who was brought up from the academy team to join this roster. He has had some good tournaments. I'm trying to think about the most notorious one. It was recently. It was when they got to the semi-final, and I think he finished at the top 5 players of the event, which is pretty cool to see. Either way, he will be on the AWP for this particular round. We'll see whether he can do anything here. I think it was Starladder. But there's JW finishing, opening things up and finishing them off as well. AWP for Mertz, and no tactical timer here. Draken on the AWP for the first time as well. 2 young guns going at it. We'll see who comes out on top. Draken, known for his inconsistencies, but great amount of skill on his day. Pretty much the same story for Mertz, really. I'd say maybe slightly more consistent, but can drop off at times as well. Flash to open things up. Kiarbi does get a dink towards Exist. That's pretty much all he finds. MSL negates Flames and tries to hold on towards B here. And will fall back successfully. Hold to the sandbag, so still not out of the woods just yet. He'll run around the corner. Guaranteed kill there, but not a chance of a second. 4 versus 3 in favor of Fnatic.
This will hold out behind the logs as well. JW wants to work out, spots Volda. Can't really get much vision, so he'll force that by putting a Molotov down, but Volda's already relocated into the corner, and JW doesn't fancy going against a man who's ready. He was hoping to catch him off instead, as Mertz does catch off Draken. Good shot of the AWP. So Fnatic with that 3-0 start now find them in a 3-3 deadlock on round 4, with A still firmly covered off, given that Volda's anchoring in the pit. But they've got 53 seconds to work with. No rotation yet from AZ, despite further utility deployed toward A as Mertz. He's eager with the AWP, perhaps too eager was Volda to capitalize on that information. Good shot through the edge of the barrel, goes back for more, had a chance for it, lost the shot, but somehow gets away with it on the second approach, which was even more rushed, even more forced, as Crims tries to bait out AZ. He's far removed, but he's just to Library, and Crims overextends. Shot successful, North find their first round.
Wow. Mertz delivering a godlike performance there. It's the no-scope that actually saves the day. This shot was fantastic. Through the edge of the barrel there. Misses that one, but how does he pull this one off? Was a quick scope right at the end there, but...
it was so fast, though, that like you could hardly gain anything from the quick scope, to be fair.
Well, the thing is as well, sure, North win the round, but look at the disparity in terms of the cash. Fnatic pretty well equipped. They have the AWP, 2 rifles, couple of SMGs, but you can see how weak North are as well. They're going to have an MP7, 2 of those, an MP9, an AWP, and the M4. Not looking too healthy here. If Fnatic can pull this one up, they could run away with the first sector, at least this half. Going to see Flusha flashed up, and MSL tries to challenge it. They're being very aggressive towards B. I guess they have to at this point try and squeeze the kill out they can. They know they don't really have the utility or the firepower to hold off a full execution here. 3-1. There we go. Working through the default once again. JW at the end of the apartments. This time 2 players in the pit for North. MSL holds the arch. Draken not really had any impact with the AWP just yet. Got bested by Mertz before. Let's see if he can start finding some frags.
Well, Exist holding at the wall. Keep an eye. Lots of new additions. I think we're entering a new I want to say era, but new chapter in CSGO. With so many changes in rosters, G2 finally changing things up. Obviously, you've had the SK Cloud9 change with then Taco going to Liquids. You've had so many stand-ins or dead rosters at the previous events. I think this might be the first event, Cologne, in many ways, that we're going to see what's to come in the CS community and world. Having Astralis so far ahead at the moment. MSL finding 2. Crim's able to finally trade that off, and in doing so, they maintain the advantage only just and get the bomb down with 5 seconds left in the round. Just a note with the changes in the lineup, Exist is currently sitting on 4 kills. It's JW that leads the way.
He's full-time rifler as well now, you know? He's obviously always been a hybrid player, but now giving Draken more focus in the AWP, I think should be a positive, more structured approach, I guess, for Fnatic. They've always been one of those teams, like, last 3 years or so, just one of those lineups, like similar to what we were talking about in IP. Swedish teams always seem to do this. They don't really have the set AWP, especially when they had Dennis in there. They had everyone picking up the AWP from time to time. Olaf would pick it up, and it was always a little bit messy in that sense. I think this brings a little bit more structure, perhaps. So hopefully we'll see that work out for them. But for now, so far so good. Mertz looking to save the AWP. I think he certainly will.
Swedish hopping has certainly been a lacking attribute in that scene. If you think about it, Michael Lilly was a Swedish hopper. Dalpen to some degree. Alu was brought in from Finland. Draken's really the only designated hopper in that scene currently.
Twist, maybe?
Twist as well. Okay, fair enough. But he never really gave himself a shot at the top level, did he?
No, he seemed to sabotage his career somewhat with turning down certain opportunities and stuff like that. He was in, I think, well, Godsend's gone now, isn't he? They've shut down the organization. He was
they've
Godsend.
essentially sold it off to... not Red Reserve. Was it Red Reserve?
I'm pretty sure they had a tweet saying they closed their doors completely. I think it was...
But the roster did.
Oh, yes, yeah, possibly, yeah.
So, yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's considering the project that it was. Considering as well, they had a major spot at one point when they had that crazy roster change with Fnatic.
Yeah.
We thought Godsend was the team to be, and then now they're just gone. It's crazy how the business can bite you. That said, I want to point out Volda. It's only the second gun round for North at this point in time on round 6. Or we've only had 2 gun rounds, I guess is the point. He's the pit player, and he has 0 kills. That's a problem. Your pit player is so essential.
That's true. Valda still has time to recover, but Mertz 6 HP. He'll be playing very defensively with the AWP, I'd imagine. He's holding towards Library right now. There is a boost in CT spawn. That's MSL. Up he goes. Smoke down his position. Can slightly bode well, I guess. Give you some sort of a shroud as JW starts to walk in. He'll be hidden by the smoke. This could get very dramatic. As he gets one, doesn't spot the boost. And he'll get away a rifle. There we go.
I thought he was somehow going to get away. He's hugging the wall and up toward the ruins. I was like, are you serious? But MSL, you're right, gets the rifle picked up. He's still a little bit concerned that someone might be chasing him down with a flash. Tries to time his re-entrance to the site. Crim's able to dispose of him and dispatch with the AK-47 quite cleanly and get that M4 on the ground. They won't need it, but they'll leave it there happily. Mertz on the AWP.
They're going to be eco again next round. So saving the AWP has to happen. AZ can play for an exit kill if he can somehow steal away an AK. That'd be great. They're only getting $1,900 into the next round, and they've only got about 1,000 each at the moment. So for now, 5-1, maybe even going to 6. But with Mertz on the AWP, we haven't seen him go absolutely ham just yet. But these star AWPers, I wouldn't say he's quite a star yet, but he's up and coming. They can certainly carry around single-handedly if required. You'll see many AWPers do that. Go for the aggressive picks.
Well, I think he was desperate to get to the M4 that was down at Coffins, but never really had a chance, unfortunately.
A swing and a miss. 5-1, so they can't really do much, but hopefully play around this AWP. I would say put the AWP in the back of B. Hope they go for a clumsy rush, perhaps, and then you can pick some of them off. If they go A, to save the AWP again. PT50's on the other players here, so what's going to happen? Where does Mertz go? Actually sending 4 players towards A, including him. So let's see how this one pans out. Mertz will presumably go for the first pick and see what's available to them. Currently looking towards bedroom/boiler right now, but Molotov's all over the place. He'll have to fall back.
Smoke down from Mertz, and he certainly will fall back. So 4 players on A. The AWP already relocating, trying to catch them off in any possible position that he can. That position seemingly toward the arch. Information gathered by, therefore, Kjærby before such time that he goes for the peak. He'll now confirm that mid-wall's clear. So he'll post toward the cubby. Smoke will isolate. That's well and truly inside of the boiler doorway, though, meaning forward toward the quad, meaning he could still see the entrances, but the Molotov will push him off of it.
Easy. Can feel all the bullets flying around him. This pick from Mertz, though. Challenges exist and comes out on top. They can't recover the rifle still. That's a bit of a problem. 4-on-4, certainly favoring Fnatic at this point as JW tries to sneak out the apartments here. He knows that they're all properly watching his position. And where's Mertz gone? He's actually booked it towards the B side after showing presence towards middle. Trying to stay dynamic. Valda, Molotov Delph, and dealt with accordingly by JW. Just poor Daisy now, who's on the site. That's a pre-fire spot, as you saw there. He does get a dink off, but that's still going to be the round. Bomb we planted, like we said. Mertz just has to save that orb. Not really much else to do. 6-1 on the T side of Inferno. Really quite a grim prospect on a best of one, especially on this particular map when you're on the CT side. MSL does get an AK. If he can save, that'd be great, but JW is coming for him, but he won't be looking in that direction. Gets another $300 and gets the hell out of there. So well played by MSL. That's going to help out in terms of balancing the books in towards the next one. Fnatic don't really have to hunt this too much. Just make sure Draken saves his orb. He's just holding the site right now, making sure that no one gets close to that bomb. That's confirmed. They are going to win the round. And MSL holding towards the underpass. Mertz in towards Ruins. MSL gets another, making this expensive.
Yeah, costly indeed, but still going to be Fnatic getting their 6th to only the one that North have achieved thus far. So with that, Mertz will have the AWP still to work with. He'll drop out an M4. That goes to Volda. 2 kits. Plenty of money for AZ. I say plenty of money, but not so much in that to bring out utility along with an M4. So what's the call going to be? Money enough to buy. So hop an AK down and spawn. Draken will take the AWP. Try and see if he can find a pick. Doesn't have the greatest spawn for it. They're going to shoot that actually to JW. Wow, they were trying to. Didn't really work. I was going to say, he's got the spawn for it. You might as well give him a go, but didn't really work out, did it? No.
So, presumably give it back to Draken.
Yeah, I was going to say, you'd think he would just give up on that now and give it to the man who should have it, but he's not, like you say, no stranger to the weapon. It's probably to his benefit as well to have a primary opera in the team. Mertz had seen one, he spots 2, manages to get the shot off. Despite the flames down, despite the very narrow angle, and he'll collect Crims. It's JW that still holds with the AWP. He's going to keep it for the entirety of the round, it seems, as he gets toward the apartment's flash out. Just barely spotted Mertz, but couldn't land the shot through the edge of the balcony. He still posts and could cover toward library, but he seems to be more eager to clear out pit.
MSL alone on B. 5 players up for North, thanks to the pick from Mertz in towards that boiler. And Fnatic start to fall back. This could be a classic execution towards the B side. MSL resides in CT spawn right now. CTs will have a rotation available in the form of Kiabi. But can they get there in time? If MSL goes down with nothing and caught with a nade out, that could be a problem. He does drop it off. Smoke down. That will call for Kiabi to come over right about now. And at this point, some damage done. Oh, goodness, MSL, 1 bullet will take him down. Luckily, still alive. Does manage to get a bit off and return towards flush up. I think that was Kiabi. And for now, still 25 seconds. Draken and JW waiting in the top of middle for the smoke to go down.
Volda, by the way, still 0 kills. 1 assist and 7 deaths. Mertz down to JW. He's looking for more. AZ's there, but couldn't get the angle onto him. Clever little gap by the cart that he tries to spawn through. That opens up a bit more to the corner, but AZ has since relocated it with a gap in the smoke of his own. He'll fire out to find JW. That brings Volda in. And welcome to the scoreboard for Volda. An important one, no less, as he takes down Draken in the site. And a 2nd round for North.
There we go, first kill for him, but you're right, very important one. Time was running down so low there for Fnatic, and North did a decent job. Just showing enough presence towards B. That 1 smoke was absolutely everything. Like I said, if MSL went down with nothing there, that was the round, but he got the smoke off, survived, pushed him in towards the A site. There were some lovely shots, or a shot from JW with the AWP, pre-fired the barrel towards the quad. If he took down AZ in the pit as well, he knew where he was. That potentially was enough, but not meant to be, and now the money's starting to swing. As Fnatic will bring in 4 rifles here, no AWPs, and Crims just on the CZ. This gives Mertz a bit more freedom now. He knows the money is not going to be as strong. If they can win this round North, that is, they'll have a chance to bounce back into this and potentially win the half still. MSL aggressive towards B, takes down Flushhead just as the smoke goes up. 5 versus 4, and how do Fnatic recover?
Desperate spray down the hallway from JW. I shouldn't say desperate, just optimistic. Hoping to collect something with it. Draken works out from Boiler. He'll have JW already on the mid wall and exists in tow. Deep smoke front library. Rotations are actually favoring the B side, given that utility was thrown from so far away, and I think they've identified that based on how that smoke landed at library, the angle in which it arrived. They suspect that it's possible they're trying to throw utility for means of fake, but they are actually still going toward A, as we can tell. Meaning there's 2 inside of the site and a rotation required for Mertz to get back in position. Thankfully, they've got the advantage. They somehow didn't spot Volda in the open, as they were all flashed, partially blind and determined by smoke, but it's Crims that pulls it back. Mertz and AZ to go down, and Crims still holding from the cart, has the bomb planted, and he can cover off top middle as well.
Crims is looking phenomenal in this particular round. 3 versus 1 now. KRB can't do anything about it, as Exist puts one of the final nails in the coffin of round number 9. And there it is, 7-2. KRB can do nothing but sit back and wait for the round to end, hoping he can take the AK into the next round, but money still not going to be great. They can't find consecutive rounds here, as Fnatic recover in emphatic style there. Crims, that was so good from him. Hits a really clinical shot on towards the A side. Turned around, and with the tiniest of gaps available to him, AZ waiting in the pit, had 2 players lined up, got completely destroyed. And there we have it. Bomb explodes, and KRB will survive. He did wait towards the library for any sort of exit frags, but nothing for it. So 6K on Valda. The rest of them, though, all hovering around 3K with saved AK-47. There is a buy there. It wouldn't be the best, but still possible. Interesting to see which way they'll go with it. Doesn't look like they'll be investing heavily, though.
So 7-2, we don't quite get our 7-1 this time. But 4 games in a row, we've been pretty one-sided off of the starting gate. Or off the blocks, I should say. 7-2, and North with only the 1 AK-47, meaning that they likely will succumb to the fate of this round as well. I say that, and Volda finds a kill. They manage to get KRB in position. He times it to perfection, and suddenly it's a 5 versus 2, but Crims has gotten Volda back.
My goodness.
Never a time to have impact for Volda. Only his second and third kill in the round, in the game, excuse me.
Well, a real chance here for North, but not out of the woods just yet. Still need to find 2 more kills. Crims and Draken looking to sabotage their attempts. Still with a minute though. Crims presumably will do most of the heavy lifting here, considering Draken has the orb. I'll try and find some space, get a kill, and then see what's available to them at that point.
So AK's picked up. Crims needs to work the magic to try and open up the side. Draken slowly working toward top of Banana. He's got the bomb in hand. They're split. So 2 is the defense. 2-1 split in the D. There is 4 players, keep in mind. It's actually KRB that's waiting to swing in response, holding towards CT spawn. Crims will make some noise, try and bait out some footsteps. Mertz falls down and behind the box, different angle to hold, and he's got a crossfire set from the pit. It's AZ that's behind, and he'll get the shot. 17 seconds. Draken does have bomb.
Might as well save now. There's no way he's just be able to run in towards B unless MSL gives it up for free.
Doesn't think it's open.
Yeah, that was his chance to run in the plum. But yes, you're right. It's not worth it. He probably doesn't win the round anyway. So to save the orb. So MSL almost gave it the side there. But there we go. It will be North sitting the round away. Thank you to KRB AK spray at the start. Valda joining in as well with the fun. There we go. You can see how effective that flashbang is. Not too much hard work at that point. We got 2 completely blind players doing the Neymar in front of you. And we'll get into round number 11 here.
The Neymar.
You see that?
What, rolling around?
No, he did a flashbang celebration at the World Cup.
I did see something on Reddit.
Yeah. Does he play CSGO? That's what
Oh yeah, big time. I know. He's friends with FNX and various other Brazilian players. Flashbang down, smoke out. Gap in it as well if KRB is careful and clever enough to get position. Track it back in. Hopefully to find one, but MSL's gonna hold right. KRB to hold left. I would say that banana's pretty locked down, Henry.
It seems like it with the half-wall boost as well.
It's interesting. Normally you get one player down there and you're like, that's anchored, we'll rotate. This time they're like, no, let's double down. Actually, we're going to triple down. We're going to put a boost in there as well. Just leave banana completely locked.
Yeah, this is about to horn them. If Valdo rotates towards the site, JW's got such a strong angle on him. Let's see if he does decide, especially if he walks back around trying to be quiet.
Flank rotation. MSL went out early. Flusher was ready for it. I was going to say, if JW got the kill on Volta, they would go for a flank, but they were certainly ready for a good play. Draken ready for AZ to try and push it now as well. And they're giving it all up. KRB's patience pays off, but it's down to just he is, despite having everything locked off, they just walked out with no information.
You really don't need 3 players at the bottom of B. That's not wise, in my opinion. Once you've got banana control like that, you've got Mertz with the AWP, just get him at the barrel or the half wall to hold it by himself. That's enough. You just need to find one kill, hold them off, then you get the rotations in. 3 at the bottom of B really is quite useless, I would say. Especially when you're going to be pushing down like you were. You realize you've got no information. You're so far removed from the A site. You have to push, and it's waiting for you. They didn't catch that first kill, but as soon as there was a bit of traction towards the apartments, they had to push B. And it all just went a bit wrong there. It was a nice idea initially just to get that manpower, get the first kill, but then when they left 3 players there for so long, for me, that's when the round went horribly wrong for them. Either way, looks like an eco for North to take a tactical timeout here. They've got 2 remaining, and they've already used 2. And a chance for the Fnatic cash to stabilize, as if they really needed it. They've all got about $3,000 right now. They're looking to get another $3,500 per player into the next round, and presumably this will be quite an easy one, as North can't really justify much more than PT50s. KRB has got 7k, could drop some upgraded pistols, I guess. We'll see if he does that. Keep an eye on the right-hand side of your screen. KRB's name, he buys an AWP. Okay. Now that is a purchase. They're forcing this map. Okay then. Now that's a play. I respect it. AWP, 2 MP9s, 2 CZs. Mertz has got so much pressure on his shoulders right now to deliver something quite special. They would have had money in the next round to buy, but they've opted for this instead. KRB dropping the AWP Mertz, and that's gone. So you can see there's an AWP there as well. They want to try and recover that quickly. JW will grab that.
Throw it back, presumably. He's got him first win the duel.
There we go. Grabs it, gets out of there.
Fair enough. Gets the AK back as well. Sorry, lads. Not for sale. And if they even dare think about it, the nade was lobbed in on top of it as well, which they could have also retrieved it with the nade, but instead it was, yeah, go for it. I dare you. Take the damage. That goes along with it as AZ now falls to 38. Fnatic looking pretty solid, I have to say.
Yeah, so far. And this is the first event they've had with Draken, of course. That's actually quite a significant change. That's someone who comes in as the primary AWP for the first time in a while in Fnatic. JW continues to add to his impressive total, 15 kills and 5 deaths. Both of the remaining A players here, quite low on HP. Valdo waits in the pit, easy on the side, so JW just waits to finish things off here. Like we said, this should have been a gimme round, but I was saying that against a full eco. They actually went all in with the AWP, SMGs, CZs, and now with the loss bonus. Oh dear, it's a second stage. So they'll get $1,900 per player. But that's another full eco coming in, and then 9-3 down on the CT side of Inferno. Nice work from Draken though. Seems like he's finding his feet quite nicely in Fnatic. Only got 6 kills, but that was quite a nice shot, given that.
Yeah, 6 kills for him. Flush and Draken and Crim's all similar. It's JW and Exist that lead the way. Solid for Exist. Bomb intentionally left behind. That'll be dropped at T stairs. Look at this little nifty stack.
Okay, on the pallet.
It looks like a 3-man, but it's not, which is why the third player is not moving. It's pallet that the second guy's on.
That could be a little bit dastardly. We'll see.
especially if they overcommit to checking Cubby. JW walks around too fast. You've got Volda to peek out as well as AZ. This is essentially a 5-man stack, 3 literally stacked on top of each other. He's going to realize it. Oh, hang on. Holds the angle, though. That's quite smart because now they have to move. They have to bait around the corner, and that means Draken gets one further, and they're also rotating in behind. They know all 5 are there. They've got B covered off bomb. We'll go that direction to ensure the round, but watch out because inside of T-Spawn, it's Flusha. This still isn't clean. It's just Volda remaining, thankfully, but he's got an AK, and Flusha, as I mentioned, was there. 10-3 for Fnatic.
Double digits on the T side. 2 to go in the first. Oof. So, spending every dollar they've possibly got in reserve. North will have 5 M4s, 1 kit, no incendiaries, and only 1 HE. HE is actually a massive deal on the CT side of Inferno, not so much the T side, but equally can be useful as well if you want to be maybe focusing Molotov strikes and then following up with HEs to finish people off, etc., or the other way around, whatever way you want to do it. And we'll get into round number 14 here. Pressure firmly on the north side of the server. Draken using the AWP again to try and open things up. There's AZ and Valda on the site. No one in the apartments at all. As he gets the angle, his teammates working around towards the arch, so he'll be smoked out. That buys him some time, though. That's fine for both sides because it's early on in the round, not a huge deal. Merch presumably traded out here. Indeed, he is 4-on-4. AZ and Valda nervously way on the side. They haven't really got anything to hold them off here.
Volda waiting and holding. Good play from the corner. Assist to AZ as he takes down JW. Crims is locked in toward Modo, and Volda's going to be somewhat careful though not to overextend and try and pinch him in because if he does, he's got Exist working out from behind at the apartments, which will end up being his demise. He found MSL as well. Perfectly played, but Cammy has the bomb. That's crucial at this point in the round. 50 seconds, it's not like he can rest on his laurels. In fact, he's going to give it up. He's going to try and one-up them, knowing that Draken's still toward the pit. And rotating back to quad, Exist is so preoccupied trying to get the bomb back, he may actually be able to isolate this into one-on-ones if he's careful enough. Or did Draken spot the gun barrel? I think from his perspective he might have, but I say that obviously not because Exist sort of had the information and turned around. That was quick from Draken.
That was pretty much the only way he could win that round. I think if the CT got away at that point, he was done for. Kiabi readied well, got the first kill, tried to get out of there, but Draken, very fast in the response, manages to win the round 11-3. Final round of the first half here for Masses, MP7s, Deagles, and Kiabi with the only M4. Looking quite grim here, 12-3 certainly on the cards, but they have managed to win an eco before. 3 rounds in total, though, not one of them consecutive. And that's been the problem for them. The money has just spiraled out of control. Nades will go in for MSL. None of them connecting, though. Flush up gets in front of them and might even deliver a couple of them back. MSL taking a lot of damage there, but still going to go aggressive, the MP7. It's now cheaper than it was before, seeing more and more of it in games, and somehow gets away with a pick and maintains a man advantage.
Boost up for the MP7 in the hands of MSL. 12-3 looking like a score we might end up with for the second time today at a half juncture. However, I say that and it could easily still end up 11-4, given that the man advantage resides with North, and doubly so as Volda takes out Crims. Good position on the windowsill. He's just spotted Mertz, but all Mertz was playing for was the information in that situation. There's no need to overextend. He's smartly backed off with the 2-man advantage. He'll get isolated because Crims now has also spotted AZ and doesn't want to be countered with a bait and switch. It works out very well, and JW catching off Volda. We're back to 3s. Weapons favoring Fnatic, given that they've got the AWP and 2 AKs. AK in the hands of Exist being the most menacing of which, because it's the closest to action. However, if he doesn't get the kill, I was going to say the bomb will be limited coming out of apartments. It still is, but Exist trades off on Kiarbi, and it's just MSL rotating back around a divided offense. Bomb will be planted. The timing of this actually could favor Draken. All he has to do is look up toward the top of middle, and if MSL swings by with the MP7, he'll be caught. I think he's aware that Draken, because there was some noise over B, is going to be coming from that direction. Doesn't matter. 12-3 indeed. Draken with a good kill. Looking proficient on the weapon.
Yeah, once he got the AWP out, he looked a little bit more comfortable. So there we go, 12-3. It'd be difficult to lose at this point, considering they got 12 rounds on the T side, but they are a new squad. Things could go wrong. It's the North that are known as a tactical execution-based squad, and we'll see what happens here. I would say there's still a few more twists and turns to go yet. We've had a few whitewashes today, but hopefully this one gets a little bit more competitive overall. Second half will begin very shortly, it seems. Here's the stats for you. North at the very top will have MSL. That is not good news whatsoever, Matt. That is actually quite worrying for them. The Vald is right at the bottom. You need those big names against a team like Fnatic to go toe-to-toe. Here's your odds from Betway. As you would imagine, Fnatic way out in front. Win this pistol. Again, it's pretty much over, I'm afraid, especially with North on the T side now.
Easy, starting his way down the stairs from Boiler, as Mertz is already inside of the stairs from the apartments behind. They'll back out the ladder mentioned area. To 3. Very slow start to this pistol comparative to the first half, in which Fnatic were able to pick that up with, I think, 3 players surviving. Russia's going to smoke off B site a little bit late, meaning that they'll buy a lot of time. They would almost buy down to the 30-second mark. If they weren't going to commit and go through, the flash will completely blind flush, and they certainly will go, because they find him easily standing still, clueless in the open. JW's forced off towards CT as well, and we've got a call that's rather interesting, and I think it's going to be agreed upon because it's mutual. Despite that there's been kills coming in, both teams called not live because each of them had a crash.
Yeah, I saw JW kind of struggling to get past walls and run into corners, and
Was caught in the open completely.
yeah, and I think they were having those issues before that first kill came in, so both of them agreed someone's crashed. We'll calm down.
I think, just to the point as well, I think both teams had a player crash because someone said not live and they said same player crashed, me too. Or us too. Whatever it was.
So it looks like both teams are ready though. So we're right back into it. We'll start everything again. It's still going to be 12-3, 5-5, even though that one kill came through. And we'll have 3 sets of armor for now. I'm sure Valda might get one more. No, it goes to the PT-50 instead. And 2 smokes. 2 smokes suggest they want to go towards B. Obviously using one towards coffins and then CT spawn. They'll flash over at the very start. MSL going to be throwing that. And they might not be heading there in the end, as Draken did spot 2 players towards the bottom and middle. They're falling back now towards the apartments. Bombs down now in second middle. Kalbi will challenge first, but not find the opening kill this time. So 5-5 for now. 2 players towards the banana area. 3 of them in the apartments going for a default. Still with their 2 smokes.
Just careful to walk back far enough so as not to be heard, and then gets on a gallop to rotate back over toward Banana. That's where Kiabi's already opened up the frag and getting JW, so he is the first to go down again. This time he was consciously aware of it. Not that he was unconscious last time, but figuratively speaking, he was lagging out. We'll call that a lack of consciousness. Flusha waits from coffins. He'll try and get above the smoke. Can't quite do it. They'll rotate back around. No boost yet. They could have gone for it. It looked like Draken might have considered it. But the bomb planted and Banana held. In fact, 2 players back toward Banana, so they'll confirm there's going to be no rotation, no flank. And then they'll be able to turn their attention back toward the bomb. Fnatic a man down, but 12-3. They're well up.
Yeah, this is looking really difficult for them. They've got 5 kills to find. The bomb getting to the halfway point. They have got a kit, but only 4 of them up right now. Valda, he'll be challenging first by the looks of things. The bomb getting to a considerable point now. Fnatic really do need to start striking here. Flusha makes the first incision, but I don't think they'll get much more. Crims and indeed Flusha left in the 2 versus 3. They'll have to fall back. They just waited a little bit too long there to really pull the trigger in more ways than one. Flusha will go down with the ship. He knows it, and North win a much-needed pistol round there. So there we go.
Much needed indeed, 12-4. So both T sides have won the pistols. They'll go on to MP7s, 2 of them Caribbean AZ. 3 of them MSL, and Mertz goes for a MAC-10 to change it up a little bit, so 2 Volda on the AK. Volda found his contribution late, gone up to 7 kills in total. Crims with the scout, trying to get chance shot down middle, but no one's going to give him that chance at all. In fact, no one peeking in that position. They had already gone well by and into Banana. JW holds towards CT, and above on Orange's one, standing above is Flush Up.
CZs and Scouts on Inferno can be very tricky to negate. Flusher and JW hold towards B. Crims with the Scouts, interesting enough. Now we holding quad. North need this round, they really do. Fnatic did not have to force buy here either. They could have taken the full eco and had all the money to close this one out. Opting for an early finish though. Crims, it would do well to hit that shot. He connects it. Obviously can't find the kill at that tiny angle. That'd be very impressive. But AZ now jumping on the pallets as Draken falls back. They've got themselves at a tight choke point here. This still fall apart for North, but nice opening pick there. And scrappy, but it's North coming out on top for now. But JW looking to shut it all down. Finds the bomb, but not much else.
Fortunate for him that the bomb actually got flung around the corner and therefore was safe to grab and plant inside of the site. If it stayed open toward the quad, he may have had more in it with the CZ. This tournament, unlike Belo Horizonte, we are playing on the new patch. Teams have had time to acclimate to it. Shot back toward JW. He falls off the position, still has armor to work with. And I think the armor will be enough to carry over or enough to encourage them to do so. No kits and a man down on the retake. We're going to go 12-5.
Certainly are. Good attempt there by Fnatic, but not quite close enough. Good job by AZ with the MP7, finds 2 kills there. 3 players from North will survive in total. It's up to JW and Flusher to block their exits here and hopefully find an upgraded weapon or two. But you can see them just hugging in the pit there, making sure they survive this round, and all 3 do, of course. It's a bit of a weird one. Any other map, that would be way too close. But Inferno, for some reason, you can stay right next to the bomb and be absolutely fine.
It's because it's already hot.
Yeah.
It's the Inferno.
12-5. They save the CZs, the armor, but should be another round for North here, looking for the 3-0 as they start their campaign really on Inferno in the second half. MP7s, Mac 10, a couple of AKs should be enough. JW and Flusher, though, can be quite menacing with those CZs. There's going to be a 5-man stack towards A from Fnatic and a B rush from North. Couldn't really go any more wrong for them now. And the Fnatic squad, that's going to be round pretty much already.
Molotov actually didn't make it. They'll identify that, having run around the corner, and they'll adjust it accordingly next time, perhaps. But inconsequential this round, as there's really no one waiting for them inside of the site. They've discovered, and they'll plant the bomb. Cut the lead in half. They'll go to 12-6. Mertz even getting up toward the tree, towards CT spawn, so as not to allow anyone to rotate in late, should they elect to try and do so. They'll hold the armor once more. Going into the first gun round, holding the armor, that starts to make a bit of a difference. It'll save them a little bit of cash. Question is, though, where it's going to be a bonus round. Oh, I can't quite see it. Just going for JW. For me, it's the opposite keys. So, okay, he's gone down and Flushes armor. Oh, I couldn't see it. I was going to say, is that 100% armor? 93. So he still has to spend money to upgrade to head armor. The point I was going to make is, if they could save both that, if they had 100% on the chest, they get the cheaper upgrade to the helmet, which JW now gets anyway because he went down. But if they elect to save the SMGs, that actually makes a big difference.
We'll see. Will they do it? Keep 3 of them up. Looks like they'll go for it. Fnatic now. Not going to have the AWP. Like I said, they did not have to force buy in that second round at all. Especially with a 12-3 lead, it actually opens the opportunity up for North quite significantly. Flames everywhere and bullets being sprayed. Most of them going in favor of JWs. He finds 3 with the UMP. And now AZ and MSL doing the best they can to get this bomb down. Looks like it will be planted quite comfortably in the end. AZ will take a nade, not quite to the face. 3 versus 2. MSL and AZ try and defend.
AZ goes toward Emo. He'll wait. Let them walk in toward water. That means bypassing MSL in the process. There's still a man down, but they've got the bomb in their favor. What a favor indeed. MSL, in fact, going to give up toward Banana. Try and catch them off by getting slightly closer. He's got to be careful. Molotov in hand. He's almost gotten lucky that Crims looked away. AZ hit the player toward the bomb. That could have been a double spray. Just barely. It's not, but I think they have. I think they've just barely got this. That defused. It's got a kit, but it's not going to have the time. It's just barely. Oh, it's just barely going to go the way of North.
Well, well, well. MSL could have secured it by just dropping the Molotov on the bomb, but didn't even need that apparently. It's JW with 3 kills with the UMP that still didn't find them around victory, and now things get a little bit more uncomfortable for them. Crims will have the AK-47 here. They're not going to force by what I can see is another partial with the maximum loss bonus coming in next round. But the bomb has gone off for the last 4 rounds in a row. So every single round equating to an explosion. AWP for Mertz, and Crims still going to be difficult to deal with in this round, especially on the AK and the CT side. We'll see whether he can find some shots here. 12-7 though, North edging their way back into it. All of a sudden, this seems almost doable.
Mertz. Position at the half wall with the AWP. Isn't going to keep that position, though. He'll leave Kievi there instead. Hazy's got a great start. Two through the wall from Boiler.
Yep.
That's ridiculous. Wasn't even a straight contact from the hallway. He sprayed them both down. That was brilliant. Love to see that back from his perspective, but it's Crims that's going to shut him down in return, and Crims tries to double up, but MSL's got other ideas. Flushy now has to play with a CZ, and MSL should be quick to find. He's low enough on HP. Bomb therefore goes down, but he's about to be swung. He's aware of it, tries to back off, and in doing so, he opens up and elongates the angle toward the apartments. Mertz will collect the kill. Still awkward, but just JW to find. It's 12-3, now 12-8 as North start to get rolling on their T side. 5 rounds in a row.
12-8. AWP out for the first time for Draken, but here's the replay from AZ. So yes, first one towards the boiler, then goes to the straight up wallbang towards Exister. That was quite lovely, I have to say. And now North actually seemed like they could be fighting back here. Remember Fnatic, their first ever tournament with Draken in the squad. T side looked good, but CT side starting to fall apart now as they go for a double AWP setup. Draken and JW, this is what we were interested to see really. JW hits the first shot, MSL goes down. Nice work by him. They go for a boost towards quad from what I can see on the CT side as well. Crims gets up there. Great position to throw in 1.5, I would say. Oh, is there 2 up there? That's actually pretty cool. So Crims can just sit looking into the wall, right? And Draken watches middle to cover that area. Exist to watch the boiler room. And that means if any flashes come up, Crims is like the failsafe. Anything goes wrong, he turns round and deals with them. As flash up, he'll get another pick and make it a 5 versus 3 now. That should be it. JW looks very confident in this. All 3 players for North waiting on the other side as he hits another. Yeah, brilliantly done from JW. I was going to say as well, that first kill means that stack was almost more viable because they discourage any take toward the B site. The second kill actually calls for the rotation instead, but that could have easily persuaded them back that direction. Everyone's still alive. Flush up with 1 HP. Flashes and smokes going both directions with 48 seconds. They have brought a second player towards CT spawn, but they won't commit yet to the B site. In fact, they're going to leave an anchor. In doing so, it's Crims that'll hold off A. JW does go down. Mertz, good find. That gives a bit of a problem to them as well. As I mentioned, Flush is only on 1, so he's going to be fragile as all. Exist, therefore, has to be strong in his attempt to hold. And as a result, the response from Fnatic is rather apt. Try and push down, pinch them in. Don't give them the option to isolate 2 players on B or fall back toward A. Just force them to have to go B and all be there to attack or defend. Can't win this now, unfortunately. With 7 seconds, and it's going to be desperately trying to find any kills they can just to try and damage the finances of Fnatic there. But 13-8 comes in their first round in the second half. Money's still strong, though, for the North boys. They've got another buy within them. They're definitely going to need it at this point. Time running out. But the AWP's out for Mertz again. 4 AKs and all the utility required. Double AWP setup, very efficient there. I really did want to see how that little setup towards quad was going to work out for Fnatic. I kind of built it up for you how it would work. Obviously, it means apartments a little bit exposed, but it's very rare for T just to walk out apartments and try and get a kill. That's not really ever going to happen. Draken aggressive with the AWP. CT side, oh, he's got the gun barrel. He knows he's there. Now he just has to hit the shot, which... Don't go for Draken. Surprisingly, isn't always he's going to. He's going to step straight out. He's got Volta down. He's got to be a little bit cautious of the fact that they could have gotten in Boiler behind him. He's certainly aware of it, but he'll back off. Knows he's got the advantage. The spray comes through, and AZ once again will do damage, but not a kill this time. I guess in his head, he's thinking, well, they're going to come towards bedroom any second. I know someone's here. Get that kill now and fall back. He could have also called someone to help him out in Boiler Room, just cover his back there. But still, it works out absolutely fine. Great stuff from Draken. They love the confidence to go for that sort of pick. 5 and 4 now. 1 minute remaining. Mert still with the AWP as he tries to find an opener, but the smoke gonna come in? Not quite. They've actually got an opening here. Molotov will do some damage, but it's up to Flasher to hold them off. Flashbang, not ideal as it goes up in the air. He's getting flames around him as well. JW misses the shot, that'll cost him his life. Krim's still here though, fighting back valiantly. 40 seconds remaining as the bomb's planted.
Considering the start from Draken, they've pulled this back by getting over toward B. And they've got 2 toward Banana. Prime post plant position. Exist will work with Crims. Draken will be held towards CT with the op, hoping to flush MSL at a position. Good find from Crims. Excellent shot to catch off Merce. That's the op down. Note that there's 1 toward Emo. Good find from Exist. They'll clear and confirm that that's wide open, and it's straightforward from Fnatic. Every duel going their way in the 3 versus 3 as the bomb gets defused this time with lots of time left over. So 14-8, 2 to go for Fnatic.
Well, there we have it. Round 23 coming through. Bomb planted. I feel like they are going to buy this one, but there's certainly a conversation that needs to be had. That's where the tactical timeout comes in. You see AZ $3,000, Mert, same story. 3 of them can buy AK and armor. Kiabi could go Galil and still drop an AK. So I guess that's what they're just working out now. How do they distribute the wealth as Fnatic come within touching distance now of finishing this one off? We'll see the timeout come to an end. What have they gone for? Nothing purchased just yet. Kiabi has bought an AK. They're going for it. I guess at this point they need this round. They can't allow Fnatic to get match points so early on. They're not going to find 7 rounds in a row. I don't think that's possible. So they'll take a gamble here. MP7s, UMPs, Deagle for AZ, and 2 rifles between Kiabi and MSL. The latter of which has the Galil. Kiabi with the AK-47. Win this one for Fnatic. That's pretty much it. What if North got up their sleeve? I'd say it has to be something tactical, something that's involving a set piece, trying to overwhelm their opposition as the incendiary comes in from Draken. That pushes them back towards T steps and funnels a couple of them up. If that nade comes in now, that's going to do a lot of damage. Not as much as I thought. Okay, where did those nades go? There was 5 players on the other side.
Somehow it must have gotten lodged into the logs.
Yeah.
I don't know where that went either. I was expecting the worst. Or the best, depending on the perspective you want to take.
Indeed.
That's a yes, 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 no, or a no, 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 yes. JW, good shot. He's still blinded off, but holding the angle, hoping for the best. Can't quite get there. As Kiabi gets the shot instead and blinded, Flusha was scurrying toward the Emo position, but was caught in doing so, and it's Crims that wants to be the next in. But North already has the palm down on the man advantage in doing so. Still waiting for rotations. There's 2 at CT. Crims is essentially alone at this point. I say that, Exist does get some vision, and he's trying to take some aggro, but a further smoke is going to make life difficult for Crims. Did they even bother going for it at this point? 2 rounds in a row?
I don't think so. We'll see.
Well, Draken being back towards Speedway and covering the flank suggests to me that they will not. In fact, they smoke off CT so as to get away themselves. We're going to go 14-9. So Fnatic still not on that penultimate point. Exist does get 1 through the smoke on Volda. Further damage onto Mertz. I think he'll be far enough away, excuse me, that oh, he does go down. So Bomb will take Mertz out of it due to that damage. So well played from Exist. I'd say it won't make that much difference, but it actually does. Mertz now sits with 36-50. Having that being their first round win in a while means no chance to bring out full arsenal.
Just got a B stream update here for you, Matt. That Team Liquid have just lost to Big 16-7. A convincing victory there. My God.
On top of that as well, it appears that FaZe have split the first half with Booties 8-7.
Didn't they play them first?
Oh, was that earlier?
That's already
Did my
finished,
Twitter
I
do
think.
that thing where it's like, in case you missed it?
Yeah, I think
which
it did. They won that 16-7.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
Oh, it was a bit
Thank you.
closer, but they won that game.
All right, well, thanks, Twitter. Got baited by Twitter. It's all right. Happens all the time. Smoke down. Flusha will be locked in by the flames.
And the bullets.
Yeah, gets him easily. I'm glad you're here to correct me, Henry. Crims. Oh, that are okay. Fair enough. 1 for 1, if you will, because Kiabi gets the shot at him, takes his teammate out in the process. Still favors North, and they'll absolutely settle for that because it opens up the site for them. Most importantly, the bomb is not anywhere nearby, but already Fnatic, yes, are backing out exactly that. So we'll go 14-10. North getting ever closer.
Yeah, they're still keeping their heads above water at least. Not going to be bowing out just yet of this particular best of 1. But there we go, double orb set up to be saved by Draken and JW. We'll look at the score, but I guess while we're here, JW 26 kills to his name, 15 deaths. Top of North will be AZ, in fact, on 15 and 17. Just beneath him is Kiabi, and then Mertz. Second place for Fnatic is Exist, and well, it's actually Crimson 18. Back, he's not quite up there in points. So there we have it. 3 players to survive once again. That's fine. They still have a big buffer here. They do want to get as much saves as they possibly can here. North know every kill they can get is fantastic. Money not a massive factor for them really anymore, considering the amount of rounds they've got left to work with. But there it is. 4 players survive. Lots of nice little grenades thrown towards the top of the banana area. And if you're just joining us, this half actually finished, well, the first half finished 12-3 in favor of Fnatic. North have done a great job to even make this one possible for them to get back into it. We did feel like Fnatic could struggle on their CT side, considering they're such a new squad. With Draken only joining, what, 2 weeks ago of that. So, here we go. Double orb set up again. Flusher and Crim's not going to buy anything, in fact. I find that kind of odd. Surely get PT50s at least, but there we go.
Shot out Draken's tag down to 70. Carby jumps in. Play from AZ. Crims is able to respond though. Volda trades again, so it's back and forth, and that starts to favor the offense more so because it's the kills and aid that they've gotten. The rotations are now pincered and locked by smokes, nades, everything, you name it. JW has no access back in. He'll try. They'll go for the boost, in fact, even to get above it. I say they're going to go for the boost. JW is positioned to do so, but Flush is not interested. So he taps away with just a pistol. Double op and a pistol. Good luck. Might have to be a further save from Fnatic. Hoping that Draken can open something up from the quad side, but that's not going to happen either. So they are going to back it off. 14-11. North doing the bare minimum required to win these rounds, but they're getting there. They're getting the bomb down. That's the essential aspect of it because Fnatic has no chance to get back inside of the sites.
Well, there it is. Another round for North in the back. 14-11 this time at the A-bomb side. Works out for them, and they'll save 3 rifles as well. Flush out. A little bit cheeky towards the end there. Gets himself an extra $300. Allows him to go over the threshold of 5K. So there's something for you, I guess. Didn't manage to pick up a weapon, of course, but gets himself an extra nade, perhaps. Crim just bought a PP Bizon. They're going to have to throw that away. That is, I think, the worst gun in the actual game. So
they have.
Yeah, that's gone. That's a bit of a waste of cash.
Double op setup as well, so waste of cash and a double op purchase. You lose this, you're going to be on the back foot. Mertz with his op is already at the corner toward the bottom of Banana. Triple Molotov to hold off all of that territory. Not stacked, but staggered. Certainly didn't leave much room to stand on. Again, they're going to go for this boost.
Yeah, they really want to show us what this can do. You can see Crim's now watching the apartment, so that's the proper setup there. This is actually kind of cool. When you like break it all down, orb towards middle, Crim's on the apartments, Exist watching the boiler room. They've got everything covered. Middle is locked down from just quad. They could get smoked out, but then Crim's is above it. So he'll get the intel while his teammates rotate off. This is quite interesting. I don't think I've ever seen anyone do this before. They're using it in their first game of the tournament. That is a bit of a shame.
Flash out. Mertz tagged already. It's not worked. It's fallen apart, but Exist could recover it because he's still above. Mertz is low and he'll drop down, but Volta's in behind. It shuts out any chance. You're right, they are using it very early in the tournament, suggestive perhaps that they're desperate to get through, using things very early. Sometimes you'd like a team to reveal that late on the stage with a crowd and a great moment, but perhaps they're just hoping to get through to the stage at this point. They've still got to close this game, and their efforts of doing so as JW starts off with the AWP. Spots Volda, doesn't get the wall bang. He was flashed up. He was hoping to go early. Volda's nailed him in return with the M4, and it's all on to Flusha, who wants to spot the second player because the first revealed, but nothing can be done. Volda's turned this game around, and we now find ourselves 14-12. He leads the way in the second half. 12 kills total.
Certainly does. Timeout called. Fnatic. They had the trap set. It was all looking so promising. North didn't even smoke them out, barely flashed them, and still goes down to the equal trade, and then no one left at the bomb site to recover the situation there for Fnatic. It slips by again. They're on eco now. This could be an absolute nightmare of a meltdown if it goes in favor of North. 12-3 to 16-14 still could happen. Has to be the eco now for the Swedish squad. CZ's USPs, JW and Crim's getting armor. They can probably invest a lot. What's going on here? Draken's bought the orb. Okay. Now that's a call. Good luck, Draken. This could make a man of you yet. We'll see. AWP, CZ, he spent all his cash here. He will get 3,500 to the next round, but 3,400. So we'll still have enough for a buy, but won't be as comfortable as if he didn't do this. But he gets the first pick, and now this is what always want to be doing. You got to show your presence towards B at the very start. Then as soon as you get that kill, you're going to the other side of the map. You're hoping to funnel them back towards A, but little do they know you're actually there on the other side waiting for them. That's exactly what he's done. But experienced players like the North guys and MSL at the helm, he'll probably be aware that's exactly what he's trying to do. So he's gone, left the pistols over towards B, and North can still capitalize upon this mistake as they go in and find the first kill. That probably is run unless JW can find something magical through the smoke, and that's not going to happen just yet.
JW unable to enter the site as of yet. AWP and AK. Once again, this is starting to get tenuous for Fnatic. Pressure's certainly on. This is going to be a one-round game if they can't pull this back, and they've only got 2 guns trying to do so. Imagine another save is in the cards. They don't look too interested with what's going on the inside of the smoke. Exist has gone down. That's one of the 2 guns held over. Draken couldn't land the shot in return. Another attempt to do so, and Crims will fall to AZ, who found the previous kill as well. Take that back. He's only got 1 of the round. I thought it was he that found Exist. Either way, JW gets 1, but only 1, and it is 14-13. This started 12-3 at half.
On the CT side, they had 3 rounds. That is so bizarre that it's come down to this moment.
10-2. ESL and 12-3. It only means one thing, Henry.
It's true. It was normally reserved just for Pro League, but it's making itself into ESL 1 as well. Round 28. Money available for Fnatic once again. The orb's out for Draken. He currently sits on 14 kills. He's at the bottom, but can still save the day. He got the opening kill, but you can see North not falling for the tricks whatsoever. Just going towards B even after he found that kill. Nowhere to be seen.
MSL. Dominating with his teammates to clear out the top of Banana, but Flush and JW will fall off and therefore not take any damage. Flashbang as well to clear in behind the sandbags. MSL to find Flush. Perfect start as Mertz is going to take down JW as well. We've got a tie game potentially on the cards.
Yeah, and they might have to save their weaponry as well because they can't really justify this retake and everyone going down. Crims with the desperation spray there through the smoke. They jump across it quite elegantly and didn't take any damage whatsoever. Bomb planted, round done. 14-14. Who would have thought?
Wow, remarkable.
Just like if they got 12 rounds on the CT side, it turned out like this. But yeah, cool, fair enough, that makes sense. But the fact they got 12 rounds on the T side, and it's the CT side where it all goes wrong, like that's pretty remarkable. 14-14 comes in, and they have to save everything they've got now. North can definitely justify a bit of a hunt here. That's why Valda, he's in towards the end of the apartments, trying to suggest he's coming hunting for them with that smoke, seeing if it baits out any sort of reaction. Bomb to go off, round guaranteed at this point. Will the CTs be able to keep 3 players up? If Draken goes down now, that would be really detrimental, but Valda can't do much with the smoke down, so he will survive. 14-14.
North impressed me. I wasn't expecting any turnaround. After how convincing the first half was, how Fnatic ran rampant with the map, now it's the same thing in return. Fnatic just cannot hold bomb sites. Lots of players staying alive. You want to look at the rounds of survivors, I'm pretty sure there's been very few in the last 7 that anyone has, or at least any one team has completely died. But Fnatic just cannot get back in. So this to determine who gets a chance to close first. As MSL will take a bit of damage from the nades, but continue forward with the AK nonetheless. He's worked well with Mertz to find opening picks on many occasions in this position. It'll be slightly different in its complexion this time, given that Kjærby is there. But don't discount the fact that so too is Mertz. And he wants to go straight contact with the AWP. They'll check behind sandbags so as not to get caught off by it, but the op contact coffins. Draken's op was waiting instead.
Well, there it is, the opening pick the Fnatic so desperately wanted here, looking for match point first. Remember, it's the best of one here. They're still going to commit towards B. They're hoping the same sort of scenarios happen. Draken gets a kill, then books it back towards the A site. That's the smoke and CT spawn. Draken to respond with smoke of his own. That's well placed, but they're going to go through it anyway. Can he find anything more here?
Draken looks for one, does actually land it, but it's the push through smoke that matters more. AZ got Draken traded, and Kjærby's able to isolate and cut off CT spawn deep smoke, as well as JW inquires between it, but won't spawn anyone as of yet. Same problem all over again. Bomb down, site locked out, and despite that they get relatively even kills or trades early on, they still can't contain the B site. They'll go for it this time. They've got no choice, surely. Can't save for overtime, can you? Give it a go. Got a kit in the hands of Exist, a kit for Crims, a single flash, now thrown by Exist. Does nothing but blind himself with it as he was desperate to try and clear out the corner. Still is pre-firing all the way around. The pre-fire pays off, but it's easy to get one more. He's forced out. Crims gets it. They don't check Emo, but yes. Ooh. Yes, they do. Just barely. Exist gets it. I don't think he's got time.
Nope.
He doesn't. North have it. 15. They've got the match point first. Oh, I say that. And Fnatic just barely get it. That is as close as you'd like.
Oh my goodness. Gracious me. Fnatic somehow find match point there. It was looking so desperate. It had all fallen apart. The push through the smoke, the plant coming through, Kjærby locking it down, but somehow, out of nowhere, Fnatic do come out in the 2 versus 1. It looked like the spray down was there for the remaining T-side player, but it was not meant to be. We're going to see round number 30 come through, but at what cost for Fnatic? Only one player survived there. They still have 3 rifles out. Draken, I'm not sure if he's got a drop there. I assume he does. I'll take a tactical timeout. The final one here for North. What an absolute game it's turned out to be. And we'll go into a single orb setup for now. We'll see what Draken's got available to him. Presumably not just the P250. That can't be the case. There's no more money. I'm looking at spawn. I don't see any weaponry on the floor. Oh, it's an orb in the corner. It's just hidden away behind the flower pot. So he's got the double orb setup to finish things off. Round 30, overtime. Very likely at this point to see if Fnatic can close it out now.
Draken forced off by Flames. Elects to take a bit of damage running back through them rather than stay out on his own, isolated in Banana. What a clutch. Found AZ. Crims went down. He was the closest one to the bomb. I thought surely they didn't have the time, but Exist proves me wrong. The new addition. Steady as always. 4 major winners still on this Fnatic lineup.
Yep.
Despite that it's come from 2 different teams. Crims will get inside of the cubby. Finally, some action back toward A. It's been a lot of Banana as of late. Forced out of the cubby in the Flames. He'll still only manage 1, but good damage onto AZ as well. Kjærby doesn't care really about that side of the map. He's going to take his task to go toward B, and he'll pay off as well as he gets Draken down.
4 on 3. Flash up. Solo defense against 4. He has got a rotation for JW. I'm not sure how helpful that's going to be. Good grenade, though. Does take down AZ, in fact, so that's not a bad start at all. Flasher jumps out of the smoke. They have the advantage all of a sudden. This would be such a gutting way for it all to finish, and Flasher knows it. He's going to drop the incendiary on the bomb. Not ideal, but does force the T away, so he can't hide behind that smoke at least.
Mertz has done well.
Rotation.
Oh, he's missed the shot. Mertz did so well to get away. He took massive nade damage, but get away to the new box. He missed an integral shot because suddenly it's just Volda to hold it. He manages one against JW, turns around, knows the flush is pushing. Somehow it's the headshot as well. He was slow to start of this game, and he'll be the last to die for North. Despite a good effort, it's Exist once again to win out the clutch. Get the defuse, and we go 16-14. If Mertz hit that first shot to Ruins, I think that round forces us to overtime.
That is a really weird game, the way it finishes up there. Fnatic with 12 rounds on their T side of Inferno, and it comes right down to the wire there, Matt. That was absolutely insane.
That was a great way to end our best of ones.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the openers to our groups.
It certainly does. Fnatic obviously got their problems on the CT side. Both these teams obviously not 100% stable right now.
Yep.
But we'll get our analysts into the conversation. We'll see what they thought about the whole thing. Alex, there you are. How's it going?
Near me, is that working all right? Fantastic. Because I agree. I think that's a fantastic bookend for our 4 best of ones. And to understand it a little further, I do have Thorin and YNK. The most Counter-Strike we've seen in one map so far today, boys. A real close barn burner, 16-14. I was called an OT. Matt just said it could have been OT. I think we were expecting it as well here at the analyst desk. But I mean, a game of small margins separating the 2 teams here. I thought Fnatic were going to open and close this case.
Obviously, yeah, fantastic looking first half. But this has actually been the story of North ever since they kind of started to get things together again, as Janko was talking about in the pregame, which is they have terrible CT sides. Like, this is a map particularly where they just gamble stack way too much. But on the T side, they're not actually terrible. Like, they have some okay reads. They managed to actually vaguely look like they were a threat at certain points in time, but you can't give up 12 rounds on CT side and think you're going to win on Inferno.
Yeah, I think this is not necessarily a case of amazing T sides from either team, right? Fnatic, with their style, we still see that they're, taking map control early on, trying to get some opening kills and then, closing out rounds in different ways. It was pretty good. I mean, obviously they got 12 rounds, but you swap over to the second half, I think Fnatic just didn't play well on the CT side. They were going for double ops in rounds where, you can tell how North is playing. They like to use a lot of utility to end rounds or even to take map control. And, that's what really negates the effect of an op, is good use of utility. So I think Fnatic should have made the switch earlier, realized you don't need to go for that many ops, just play better with your own utility.
I was very pleasantly surprised as well with I kept half an eye on JW throughout that game.
Yes.
Just interested to know whether or not this kind of zero AWPing, or rather secondary AWPing, because he definitely did pull it out at least once or twice, was paying off for him. And I think, what was the scoreboard? 29 frags, top of the scoreboard, 5-3 in opening duels, 8 multi-kill rounds. He had a really good showing versus North.
Yeah, individually really well. I only disliked in the second half in some moments, like, is he opping? Is Flusher the secondary opper? Is he the primary opper? Because in some rounds he had the op over Draken, right? And sure, it might be based off of calls in-game and wanting it at a specific part of the map, but, I don't want to have a situation like we had ages ago in Team Liquid, where Simple was on the team with Kusta, and as soon as Kusta would, miss 2 shots, Simple was like, give me the op, right? So that's not going to instill confidence into Draken at all.
And he's not a player that needs that as well. He's a player that needs the full kind of support structure around him, keeping that up in his hands and keeping the confidence high for sure. But what does this kind of mean about North and their chances here? I can't help but feel, if you look at their group, Fnatic were perhaps one of the more attainable goals here at ESL One.
Especially in a best of one. Obviously, that was the ideal way to get yourself a no chance where you're 1 best of 3 away from playoffs. Yeah, it's going to be rough for North in this one. Like, again, now that they're into the best of 3 part, there's not many teams you look here you could see they're actually able to beat. Like, maybe they can win maps against people, but beating them in a best of 3, I don't think their map pool's strong enough at the moment.
And I think, if I'm not mistaken, they're going to play the lower bracket game versus Team Liquid.
That
because of Big's win.
Yes.
Oh, that's horrible for them. That's a bitter pill to swallow. So North,
and they're going to do it on the 4th of July.
Are they really?
I think they play tomorrow, right?
The lower brackets, yeah. Oh my God, it's happening. That's going to be fun. And that's, of course, due to a fantastic performance on the B stream. I guess just a couple of words on that. Big Clan beating Team Liquid. Any thoughts?
UK coming through big.
Yeah, Smoo, yeah.
Literally.
Big Smoo.
Yeah.
There, yeah. I think for Team Liquid, something that people should know is they didn't practice the last 7 or 8 days because Taco had to go back to Brazil to renew his visa thingy or whatever. And yeah, they just didn't come into this tournament with a lot of practice. Obviously, still a great team, they still know how to play the game, especially a map like Dust 2, but maybe just a bit slow to get into the tournament. And Big, we know they're famous for winning best of ones, but they still have to win some best of threes to make it into the playoffs.
Yeah, best of threes is where we're headed next. We're going to go ahead and take a break. When we do come back, it's going to be another best of 3. Oh, excuse me, no best of ones. Oh, wait, did you have something to break down?
Oh, it's fine.
He said you should go. Oh,
listen to the boss in your ear.
I would like to check it out.
The only breakdown was the Counter-Strike on the CT side by both teams.
Yeah, we're going to get out of here. Janko, I promise we'll get to hear more from you and that beautiful telestrator. But for now, we take a break. Best of 3s from now on. We'll see you after the break.
Cologne.
Incendiary out.
Did I seriously